Top podcaster Joe Rogan has blasted the UK government for their plans to roll out compulsory digital IDs.
They're passing that in the UK right now. In the UK, you need a digital ID to combat, ready for it, illegal immigration. Well, motherfucker, you let the illegal immigrants in on purpose. Like, you guys knew what you were doing, and now you're using it as a justification for digital ID.
I just watched one this morning, actually, it was a British judge. A guy got sentenced.
I saw that,
for however many years for a
20 months social media post.
For a social media post.
It
was about immigration.
It's getting
complaining
weird,
about immigration.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy. And, it's the best way to control people, and keep them at each other's throats. Like, bring in a bunch of people that the people that live there don't want there and let them duke it out, and then start instituting tighter and tighter restrictions and control.
The spray came after a tough week for UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who announced his plans for a compulsory digital ID for all Brits.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems.
The announcement did not go down well with many in the UK, particularly Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, who slammed his opponent.
So the Prime Minister says we must have digital ID. That's the way we'll stop illegal immigration. Well, think about it. Germany has ID cards, strict ID and checks. It's made no difference at all in Germany, and nor will it here. All that digital ID will be is a means of controlling the population, of telling us what we can and can't do, of fining the innocent. And didn't we see it all when we had the pandemic, when you had to have vaccine ID to travel, to do various things? Did that stop the COVID pandemic spreading? Did it? Hell, all it did was put cost and inconvenience on everybody else. I also worry about massive data banks being held by the government, being hacked by foreign governments, by private companies, by criminals. I do not see a single benefit to the government having digital ID other than them controlling what we do, what we spend, and where we go. And we in Reform are wholly opposed to it in every single way.
An outspoken commentator, Douglas Murray, agreed, saying Starmer is inept.
Well, this is a reheated policy from the Blair era. And it's another reminder that Starmer doesn't have any real policies of his own. But presumably Tony Blair or somebody from Blair's circle has said, why not give this another go? It was fantastically unpopular 20 years ago, but perhaps people will be with it now. I'm not one of those libertarians who objects to the idea of ID because I think that government's going to come and snoop and all that sort of thing. I object to it, particularly rolled out on these grounds, because you don't need digital ID to prove your right or otherwise to be in the UK, and it does absolutely nothing that I can see serious to crack down on illegal migration. I mean, for instance, if you wanted to crack down on illegal migration, you don't have to get everyone in the United Kingdom to sign up to digital ID. You could send boats out into the Channel to stop illegal migrant gangs sending illegals into the UK. You could stop the UK border force acting as the helpmates of the smuggling gangs by going out and, halfway through the Channel, maybe a bit more. If the boat doesn't have to have any troubles for the UK Coast Guard and the Royal Navy and others to pick up the illegal migrants, say thank you very much to the smugglers, and bring the illegal migrants to the UK. None of that gets stopped by making every British person get digital ID. It's a classic case of an inept government that doesn't have many ideas, rehashing and reheating an old idea. And I can say with absolute certainty, it is a distraction. It does nothing to deal with illegal migration. And by the way, if they're worried about illegal workers, they could just send the police or anyone else to all of the migrant hotels companies and vast swathes of the UK, go to the Deliveroo companies and the Uber Eats companies and all the others, and just ask if everyone's got any ID at all, digital or otherwise, who's doing deliveries for those people. They're very easy to do, but they would never do that, of course. Much easier to put the whole country through this once again.
And the rest of the world is listening. US commentator Glenn Beck and journalist Alex Newman used the UK's digital ID to sound a warning to never allow this to be replicated in the United States.
I have 80 seconds. Tell Americans what it's like if they don't stand up against this right now. What's coming?
It will end up in total control of every facet of your life. They're already bringing in the social credit score that they pioneered in China. They're pairing it with the digital currencies, and they want to make it so that they will track your carbon footprint. They will track your attitudes and your opinions online. They will track everything that you buy to determine whether you're making appropriate choices. They will track where you're tithing, what church you're tithing at, what organizations and ministries you're giving to. It will create a dossier, a comprehensive dossier on every American, which will, of course, be processed through artificial intelligence. And if we don't stop it, it will culminate in exactly what Klaus describes in his book on the Fourth Industrial Revolution, a fusion of our biological and our digital identities that will be impossible to escape from. So I urge Americans in the strongest possible terms, take this threat seriously. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's coming down the pike, and we must say no.
But the digital ID could be Keir Starmer's undoing, with a fresh Ipsos poll spelling disaster for the PM. The poll shows Starmer is the most unpopular Prime Minister in record history, with a negative 66% satisfaction score. This embarrassing result was further reinforced outside the Labour Party conference just days ago, where hundreds of protesters demand the end of digital ID.
This is absolutely incredible. We've literally got hundreds, possibly thousands of people here, all fighting against digital IDs, fighting against the Labour government. We're not having this, Keir Starmer. We don't want a social credit system. We're not interested in you pledging allegiances to Davos over your own country. You are an evil, authoritarian man, and we are not interested in any way in your regime, your authoritarian top-down 1% nonsense. We're not having a digital ID, we're not having a brick card, we're not having mass surveillance, we're not having inheritance tax. We're not interested, we're the people and we hold the power, and we're fighting back and we're going to win.
But it seems even Starmer himself is struggling to sell the ID, serving up this Kamala Harris-style word salad on television when asked how it will actually help to stop illegal immigration.
One of our viewers got in touch and wanted us to ask this question. Russ Brown wanted us to ask you if you really believe that those profiting from human trafficking will think, oh dear, I have to check your digital ID now. I can't carry on paying you £1.50 an hour to work in my sweatshop.
I am absolutely convinced that amongst the reasons that people travel through France, which is a safe country, to come to the United Kingdom, amongst the reasons is because it's easier to work in our legal economy than it is in other countries. And we have to deal with that.
Bosses who are prepared to hire people illegally are not asking them for their national insurance card. So what's the evidence? What makes you think they're suddenly going to ask them for a digital ID?
We need to be really clear. You must have ID, mandatory digital ID, in order to work, because we have to stop illegal working.